Hi everyone, it's Andrea and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you my January 2023 bullet journal setup. If you watched my 2023 setup, I said that I was trying to do some more minimal themes to make time for me to bullet journal while the semester is ongoing. And back in September 2020, I had made another version of this theme, but it was a bit more elaborate with more colors and shapes and all of that. And I really enjoyed that one, so I tried to make it a more minimal version for this month. And for all of the lettering throughout these spreads, I will be using my Tombow Furunosaki brush pen in the hard tip, which is my absolute favorite brush pen for smaller black lettering. I also like to use it in my notes. And for outlining all of the drawings, I'm using the Pigment Micron fine liner in the plastic nib. And I'm still trying this fine liner out because I used to use the Copic multi-liner, but it ran out of ink. And I'm really enjoying it this far. It doesn't smear a lot with the Tombow brush pens and it looks really pretty. Before coloring in, I added some grid washi tape and I have to say that made me a bit nostalgic because back when I was in my bullet journaling 24/7 era, I was obsessed with using grid washi tape in all of my spreads, and it was honestly a really fun time in my life. And for coloring in all of the books throughout these spreads, I used some pastel Tombow brush pens and then I used some darker shades of that same color just to add some details. Now moving on to the quote page, I honestly spent about an hour browsing on Pinterest trying to find the perfect quote, and I settled for this one that says "Allow yourself to grow and change," which I thought was really fitting for the new year. And honestly, I'm really picky when choosing the quotes that I will be using for my monthly bullet journal quote pages because I feel like such quotes are kind of like a reflection of how I expect the month to be. And once again, I'm using the same colors to color the books in the same way, and I really like how it turned out, just leaving like a blank space, sort of like a highlight. It adds some dimension to the simple drawing. And finally, I added some more washi tape to this spread. And honestly, it feels really weird to leave it this minimal because if you watch my previous videos, I used to add lots of like small dots or just random shapes to fill out the page. Because back then I felt like if the whole page wasn't full of colors and shapes, the spread was incomplete, and I'm really trying to change that mindset. And although I'm really liking how these spreads are turning out, I'm still not sure if I will stick with a minimal bullet journaling look. Probably not for every single spread that I make, just depending on how I feel that month, but I feel like for right now, after not having bullet journaled since August, I think, it has been a nice way to ease into it without putting too much pressure of creating an elaborate theme. So now for my monthly spread, which is one of my favorite spreads to make and use, I just created some simple black boxes, and that was a bit different for me because I usually use the colors of the theme to create those boxes, but I really like how it turned out, and I just used the colors to add some circles where I'll be writing the date and also some lines where I'll be writing the days of the week. And for this spread, I only added a small book drawing at the bottom of the page next to the January lettering. And lastly for this spread, I just added the days of the week as well as the dates. And I decided to start this calendar on January 2nd because if I started it on January 1st, I would have needed to add another row of squares and they didn't fit the size that I wanted them to be. And when making my bullet journal monthly spreads as well for my digital calendar such as Notion and Google Calendar, I like for my weeks to start on Monday, and that's probably because I've always related Mondays as a fresh start, maybe because the school week starts on Monday. but it just works better for me that way. And now I'm really curious to know whether you start your weeks on Sundays or on Mondays, so be sure to comment that down below. And I usually make habit trackers on this page, but this month I will be traveling for over 2 weeks, so I think it will be not the best idea for me to track my habits because I probably won't be the most consistent, so I decided to add a goal spread. And for this, I only chose 3 different goals to focus on during this month, so I made circles for each one of those goals. And talking about my January goals, I decided to focus on 3 main things. And the first one is to reduce my screen time, and that is because lately I've realized that I spent way too much time on my phone, and I really want to change that. The second goal is to finish a Python beginner course that I've been taking on Udemy, and that is because being a STEM major, I'm a chemistry major for those who are new to this channel. I think that programming is a really useful skill to have, and I've been really having fun with it. And finally, my third goal is to successfully prep for a new semester. I will be starting my 4th semester of university on January 30th, and I really hope to make this a great semester, so there are several things that I need to do to successfully prep for it. And for my goal spreads beneath the actual goal heading, I like to add some steps that I will be taking it in order to reach said goal, or maybe just the motivation behind that goal. And I decided to do that off camera just so it can be a bit more mindful moment with myself. And the next spread that I decided to make is a monthly master to-do list. And I don't usually make this kind of spreads, but right now, since I'm on winter break and I will also be traveling, I won't have as much structure as I usually have, so I probably won't be making weeklies each week. And this way I can just brain dump all of the things that I know I have to do this month, but I don't know specifically when I will be doing them. And always when I'm travel, I tend to forget about many of my responsibilities, so this will help me remember it. And I decided to divide this spread into 2 categories, the personal and the academic one. And I will be filling out the tasks that I have to get done as soon as I remember them. And even though I'm going for a minimal theme, after making these boxes I felt like they looked a bit empty, so I just added some doodles in the corner and also a drop shadow to the boxes. And finally, for this setup, the last spread that I made was my first January weekly, and I did decide to make a weekly for this week because I will be home throughout this week and it will also be my travel prep time. So I do have many things that I have to get done, and this will help me stay more organized. And for the headers on this weekly spread, I decided to make 3 dots and then added a letter on top of each one, and I used brush lettering as usual. And since I hadn't posted a lot during the semester, here's a small life update. This winter break, I honestly haven't done much. I've just been resetting and recharging after this really stressful semester. I've been out since December 5th. The actual semester finished on November 25th, but I had to take some finals for my class. It was my differential equations class, and I struggled with that so much because I decided to sign up with one of the hardest professors, and it was, in fact, pretty hard. And I really thought that I was gonna fail that class, but I managed to pass it. It was not the best grade, but I passed, so I'm happy with that. And this month, after all that resting and resetting, I'm finally starting to get back to creating content and do all of that. I really want to pre-film and pre-plan some videos and pictures So once the semester starts, I won't stop posting like I did last time. And I'm also really excited for my trip. I hadn't gone on vacation in quite a while, and I think it will be really good for me. I am so excited. So after that small life update, let's go back to talking about the bullet journal spread. And I'm really liking how it turned out. I added some washi tape and kept it sort of minimal because the washi tape does make it look a bit busier. But I also added some of the bookshelf drawings that I've been using throughout this whole spread. And usually for my weekly spreads, I like to add a motivational quote somewhere in the corner, but this time I actually used a lot more space for the quote page, which was between those two bookshelves, and I chose Enjoy the Little Things for this week. Finally, I used the same technique to color the books that I've been using throughout this setup. And overall, this time that I've been reconnecting with my bullet journal since I made my 2023 setup, I've been really enjoying it. I hadn't realized how much I missed it until I got back to doing it. And it makes me really excited to turn it back again into something that I do often, and also to be sharing it with you and keep creating content. So that was all for this plan with me. As I said, I really enjoyed making these spreads, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching it. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments, and see you in the next video. Bye!